welcome back to another video. It is 8:30 in the morning. Thought I would do a full day of eating. It's my lightest training day of the week, so I won't probably show you guys my actual training in this video. It's just my tempo bench day that I'll be doing this evening. But I've been wanting to film more full days of eating for a while, but I keep putting them off because, I don't know, I just have this like resistance against doing them. But I'm going to film one today. It's 8:30 in the morning, so this morning, just for a bit of like context into my routine, up at 7, literally straight up, kind of wash my face, whatever, get on the dog walk, about a 25-minute dog walk, so a fairly short one first thing in the morning, get back about 7:30, just quickly get ready for the day. I've been at my desk since about 7:45, and it's now 8:30, and I've just been downstairs and put myself together a bagel to start the day. Now, my food order won't make a lot of sense, and this is because, I've also got dog hair on my lens. My food order won't make a lot of sense because, basically, my calories are still pretty low. And I have to just find a way to eat and to feel somewhat full, but also save the bulk of my carbs for around training. Now, on this day, because training is so short and so light, I'm not that stressed if I don't have like a high carb pre-workout meal, if I'm being totally honest. Obviously, I'll try to, but some days I want my carbs first thing. To be honest, most days I crave my carbs first thing in the morning. But I've tracked my pre-workout meal for later. I also always track my food in advance. I sit down in bed. One of the last things I do is I sit down in bed night before and I just go through and plan my food for the day, for the next day, just to make sure I've got everything to fit my macros, all is good. And yeah, so my first meal of the day, this is not a breakfast food. Don't judge me for this. It is a wholemeal bagel with 120 grams of cooked pork shoulder, all of the fat trimmed. It has some Chinese style seasoning on it. I basically cooked up a whole joint with this seasoning on. It's pretty good. It's all right. And I'm just kind of using it up in bagels, basically. I've said in these videos before, if you've watched the previous full day of eating, that I basically always have a pork joint cooked up in the fridge. Last time I did a nice barbecue pulled pork, and this time I've done like a Chinese style one. Who knows next time? I'm trying to get a bit more creative with what I'm actually cooking up as well, which I've got some other meals and stuff later that I've recently added into my meal prep rotation. But macros for this meal, I've also got a little bit of mayo in there as well, just so it's not super dry. I don't have any like butter or anything, just because macros are still low. Let me have a look at the macros. So on this, we've got 50 grams of carbs, 16 fat, and 42 protein. So decent split. And this should be enough to see me through until like 11ish, when I'll probably have my first like proper meal. But one thing we noticed when we did also, Zuko is ripping to shreds the blanket that he's laying on, and I don't have it in me to fight him right now. The macros I was on when I was like deep in the deficit, when I was on 1700 calories, we obviously had to have all three macros, carb, protein, fat, super low. But then we prioritize boosting carbs around training, just obviously for that energy. So I had a few days a week where my carbs would be like 50 grams higher, back above the 200 gram range, because they were super low. And my mood shifted so much after like 2-3 days when we then allowed them to kind of stay up on comp week. So we've realised my body needs carbs, which obviously makes sense, especially as an athlete. But I've always felt for myself that fats are what I respond best to. And obviously carbs around training, but like general like day-to-day how I feel, higher fat diets work better for me. But it turns out, at least at the moment, currently carbs are kind of getting me through life. And yeah, this is my first meal of the day. And I'm just going to continue working at my desk for however long. I had a really productive few work days the last few days and got really ahead on stuff. And things are good. We're having a good day. Yeah, nothing else to add. I'll see you for my next meal. Okay, it is 10 o'clock. I'm not on my next meal yet. Also, the blanket war, I had to admit defeat and just get rid of the blanket because he kept chewing it. But look how am I supposed to concentrate when I have him behind me all day? This is one problem I have. No, guys, I'm so tired. Like, I feel like I'm struggling to form words because I'm so sleepy today. Not really sure why, because actually last night I got the best night's sleep I've had probably all week. My boyfriend's got a cold at the moment, so our bedroom smells like Olbus oil, so that he can kind of breathe through his nose in the night. And it's just like cleared all of my sinuses too, because I do sometimes struggle to breathe through I always struggle to breathe through my nose. And yeah, I feel like my sleep quality has been great because I've just been breathing through my nose a lot more. Because I'm tired, Monster can, I was going to say number one of the day, the only one of the day, because we don't have any more. And I am trying to get back to having just one a day. Towards the end of last year, I started having 2 a day, and I don't really know how this happened. It just kind of became a habit. And then in the new year, I kind of started to get better. And then when I was in my aggressive deficit, I felt like I needed something. So it was like my little treat almost was having 2 cans a day. I'd have one like around 10 in the morning, and then I'd have another one kind of 2-ish in the afternoon. But in my effort to also improve my sleep quality, trying to cut back caffeine in the afternoon / not have any. So I am trying to get back to having one a day, but this is actually the last one we have. So I will definitely be having one today. I think I've got some more arriving like Monday. So that's fine. One thing I also forgot to mention earlier was creatine. So anyone that knows me, I carry a big bottle of squash everywhere I go. Many people have asked me if it is just like straight squash. Absolutely not. Basically finish using one of these and then I just start drinking out of it for like a couple of days until I finish the next bottle. So I put my creatine in here basically so I don't forget to take it. Could time it better around training and stuff, but honestly, as long as it's in your system, that's the important thing. So my first bottle that I fill up of the day, I just put a scoop of creatine in. I used to take about 8 grams, so a scoop and a half, but I have cut back to just 1. I basically was just having some tests and stuff done for health issues over kind of Christmas, New Year. And one thing they were concerned about was my creatinine levels, / my kidney function was also quite low as well. That is all fine. It turned out it was literally just because of the fact that I have quite a lot of muscle mass, obviously, with what I do, being an athlete and stuff. But I essentially just made the decision when all those tests were going on. I was like, okay, well, if I just cut back to like 1 scoop a day anyway, because to be honest, I didn't need the extra and I feel the exact same on both. So yeah, got my scoop of creatine in here. I literally like don't stress about like optimizing it, remembering to take it. Just put it in your first drink of the day and you'll be good. I have actually already had more than this as well. I drank like half of one this morning and then topped it up. So probably like about 1.5 litres in on fluid. So yeah, now I'm gonna have my monster and hopefully it doesn't really help my energy levels. I'll be honest, these take me like 2.5 hours to drink. So I just sip at them, but it is what it is. And then yeah, I'll probably have lunch around 12-ish. I don't know yet. We'll see when I'm hungry. So camera angle is terrible. Next meal is going to be a pasta bake. Now you can probably hear the kettle in the background because I'm just kind of getting the chicken stock ready to put on top. Basically, my new meal prepping hack, excuse any mess around me as well, new meal prepping hack is to save myself kind of, I say save time, it doesn't actually save time, but it just makes meal prepping a little bit less like overwhelming, is I will prep the ingredients and everything the night before when I have like 20 minutes spare. Put it all in the fridge overnight, then the next day, about an hour before I want to put it in the oven, I will then take it out of the fridge, let the glass sit and cool down, and then add some chicken stock, shove it in the oven. I've been living on pasta bakes. This is going to look super unaesthetic, but this is before, obviously, it's been in the oven. It's just a mixture of different things. It's going to be like a cheesy chicken and chorizo pasta bake. Add a bit of chicken stock in a second, let the pasta obviously soak, shove it in the oven for like 45 minutes with some foil on top. Literally the nicest meal ever. Got chicken chorizo, really nice like garlic and herb cheese in it as well, which makes the sauce really nice. And then like different veg and salad and stuff in there. I've got onions, peppers, peas. I don't think I put anything else in there this time. There's tomato as well. I think that's it this time. Just basically chucking whatever, like even if it doesn't really go. Like I don't think I've put peas in it before, but there was some in the freezer and I wanted to add something else in. So gonna have that for my lunch in a little while. And yeah, I thought I'd just show you guys. So yeah, that's one thing I've been doing for meal prep recently is basically just putting like prepping ingredients the night before, and then all I need to do now is just boil the kettle, add some chicken stock to the mixture, chuck it in the oven. But one thing I was going to say was, so with meals like that, one thing that's really important to get in within your diet is a massive variety of plants. And plants isn't just fruit and veg, which I think is what a lot of people think it is. It also comes from things like herbs and spices as well. So like in that meal, I've got 3 different colors of pepper, which each different color technically counts as a different plant if you're going to actually count like specifically. I've got tomatoes, I've got onion, peas, and then we've got like a mixture of different herbs in there. I think there's 4 different types of herbs in there. Yeah, I think there's like over 10 different plants in that one meal. So that in one dish of that meal, that's 10 plants ticked off. And the general guideline is like aim for about 30 per week, if not more, if you can kind of get more in, which sounds really overwhelming to a lot of people, I think. But actually, when you break it down and you look at it and you realize what actually counts, like it's not just fruit, veg, like that's not what you're aiming for. Like it's all that kind of like fresh ingredients, right? So even like whole grains count towards it, oats count towards it, stuff like that as well. So this all adds up, and then you can kind of hit a really nice number throughout the week, and just get a lot more like whole ingredients. And obviously, like I'm sitting here sipping on an energy drink that's just full of like additives and stuff. Like my diet isn't 100% perfect all the time, but I just try and take as many bottles as I can to make myself feel as good as possible. And one of those things is trying to get a variety of plants and stuff in, getting a good amount of fibre in. I'll load my fitness pal up now and just have a quick look at what the actual macros are in that meal as well. I don't know I haven't tracked all of the plants in it, I don't think, so the fibre might read a little bit lower than it actually is. So like the actual macros itself are 46 grams of carbs, 20 fat, 38 grams of protein. So macro split there is pretty decent. And then 8 grams of fibre in one portion of that, because that one bake will make up 6 portions. So 8 grams of fibre in that, like 11, I think, different plants, 10, 11 different plants in there at least. That's just like off the top of my head from memory, because I can't remember exactly what I put in there. But that isn't like an easy tick box. And one thing I'm really trying to do is just, well, I always try and do, and I try and encourage other people to do as well, is just find recipes that allow you to just essentially just kind of mindlessly chuck stuff in, tick those boxes without really having to put too much effort into it. Like pasta bakes at the moment, like I'm not a massive pasta fan, but after being in my aggressive deficit at the start of the year, now I'm more at like kind of maintenance, slight deficit still. Like my calories most days are 2,000, like today's will be about 2,000. And then on higher, like longer training days, I'll maybe have 2,200 just with extra carbs. So my calories are still pretty low, but when I was in that aggressive deficit, I was so sick of eating just like lean mince, vegetables, potatoes. Like that was essentially my diet, which it served its purpose. It got my weight down without me feeling super hungry. Like it was what I needed it to be. But I'll be honest, I cannot eat like that again for a while. So I needed to find ways to get meals in that kind of felt like I was almost indulging without actually indulging. And that, like, honestly, that pasta bake I've just put in the oven is like my favorite thing because of the cheesy, like the cheese wheel in it as well. Like it makes the sauce so good. And the macros aren't too bad. Like 20 grams of fat per portion is reasonably high, but the rest of my food is reasonably low fat, so it balances out pretty well. And one thing I used to always do was have fairly high fat within my diet. But actually I've found since doing that deficit, I'm actually almost struggling to get my fat back up again unless I'm eating things that like chocolate and stuff that kind of add in. So very happy with the meals I've found. And I feel like I'm in a pretty good routine again with meal prep, and I'm feeling a lot better in myself. And I like the biggest thing when it comes to nutrition, and what I always like try and remind people, / remember myself, and like with clients, something I'll regularly ask them is, how are you feeling in yourself with these dietary changes? And the answer is always going to be better. Like with nutrition, it can feel so overwhelming, and like you just have like, a lot of people only really focus on the scales or their body size. I'm also getting attacked by Zuko now. He's started to wake up from his nap. Like body size and the physical elements in that sense, or like the elements that you can actually see. But what we really need to focus on and drill in is like, how do these foods make us feel? How do we feel in ourselves? And the goal is to feel as energetic and kind of just healthy within ourselves as possible. And yeah, it's good to just find tasty meals that help us do that. Like nutrition doesn't have to be boring. And I think that's why I love coaching nutrition as well, because I think it does open people's eyes to a lot of different things that they didn't really expect. Like when people first come to me, a lot of the time they'll struggle to get any fat into their diet because they think they have to eat all the leanest cuts of meat and all like not add oil to anything, have basically flavorless, disgusting like chicken broccoli rice like forever. And it's like, no, you can still eat foods that you enjoy and find ways to incorporate those into your diet regularly. Like it doesn't have to be like the only time. I keep having to pause filming because Zuko is digging my carpet in the office. He likes to do that. It's like the only room we have carpet left in for that reason. But yeah, no, like I can't remember what I was saying. Basically, your food doesn't have to taste terrible. Like no matter what your calories are, being able to cook and finding recipes that you enjoy is the number one trick, honestly. I always find recipes on TikTok, save them, and then I'll just adjust the ingredients and stuff to make them like fit my macros better, / like better macros in general, add different vegetables and stuff to them. And it's just like godsend. So pasta bake is complete. I'm now going to shut the back door that my dog just opened. Now I'm gonna dish it up. But guys, literally like the nicest meal I think I've ever cooked in my life. Can't even see it. There we go. Literally the nicest thing I've ever cooked. And it doesn't look it, but when you mix the cheese in, it tastes fantastic. So I'm gonna dish this up and have this as my lunch. It's now 12 o'clock, pretty much on the dot. So actually later than I normally eat my lunch, because I normally try, and I say normally try, I'm normally so hungry the first half of the day that I will have like 3 meals before 12 o'clock, which not good when you're on low calories, but good, I get hungry. Okay, so kind of just home from the dog walk about 15 minutes ago. It's now 3:30. After the dog walk, I want to have my pre-workout meal. I'm going to just get a little bit more work done. Basically, because it's a Friday, I try and have Saturdays mostly off from coaching. So my afternoon is literally the priority is just getting replies done so that my inbox is empty by the time I log off a little bit later in the evening. And then I can just kind of relax on a Saturday. I'll sometimes still work on a Saturday. It kind of just depends what I have planned. Like, to be honest, tomorrow I've not really got anything planned, so I'll probably do some more work. But this is technically my pre-workout meal. I kind of mentioned earlier, I don't generally stress too much about my pre-workout meal on the Friday. Like, as long as there's some level of carbs, like sometimes I'll literally just have an apple before I head in. but this is actually something I've been looking forward to all day. So in here we have got, it's not going to look aesthetic, and I'm very aware of that. I've got some Greek yogurt, I've got some apple I put in the pan all diced up with some cinnamon on, I've got a banana mashed up with some oats mixed in, also put in the same pan with some cinnamon mixed in, and a little bit, well, meant to be a little bit of Himalayan salt. However, I kind of was like not thinking, so you could like to sit behind me when I eat as well. Kind of wasn't thinking and just lost concentration and probably put way too much salt in, but it should be fine with the other flavours and stuff in here. And I've also got 15 grams of dark chocolate chips as well. I'm going to mix it all together, eat that. Really looking forward to this meal, like a nice sweet treat. And then I'll probably train, if it's now 3:30, to be honest, probably about 4:30, 5. Like I'm going to let this digest depending on how I feel. Very light session tonight, just tempo bench. And then some accessories, just a very quick session. Normally only takes me about half an hour to 45 minutes. Also going to do my rehab stuff, to be fair, which will then probably take about an extra 20 minutes to half an hour on top. So yeah, looking forward to eating this. And then I've just got one more meal to have when I finish training. Okay, so that was literally one of the nicest meals I've had in forever. Now, macros on this, like it would be a really good general pre-workout meal anyway. Like there's a range of different carbs in there. There's a decent chunk of protein to keep me kind of full. Like that's the sort of meal I would have before, I'm literally being climbed over. That's the kind of meal I would have before a long SBD day anyway. Although generally I've been having smoothies lately, but that is like a good pre-workout meal. It's got 74 carbs in it, 7.9 fat, and then 20 grams of protein. So very like decent high carb kind of pre-workout meal. And then if you go through, I've got 10 grams of fiber in there as well, which having that about an hour and a half to 2 hours before training is great. Sometimes if, depending on my hunger levels on the day, I felt super hungry before I went to train, like if it was a longer session, I might then just have like a little bit of a top up before I go in as well of something a little bit more quicker digesting. But there's a good range of like quicker digesting, slower digesting carbs in there. If you were going to have that and you wanted to like make it a little bit higher in fiber and maybe not necessarily as like a pre-workout meal or something, then super easy to just add different types of seeds in there if you're trying to get your plant count up or anything. Add different types of seeds into it, like chia seeds can go in with the yogurt, obviously, flax seeds, sunflower seeds, that's the sort of thing I would probably add to that if I was having that as like a breakfast or something on a rest day. But no, that was a really good meal. Very happy with that, and a good chunk of fiber and stuff in there too.
Really been going back to back to back to back to back to back to back, like the neighborhood warriors. I don't miss, I don't play none, I don't diss, I don't say none. I go swish, that's an A1. I eat steak with no A1. Tell the chef I said thanks, tell I'm in the bank. Tell my mom I'm living good, tell my kids don't stress a thing. I go back to back on the drops, drop a lot and she pack the bags. She shot till we drop. I just wake up, I don't say nothing. I'm on go, I don't stay long. I've been up now, that's a case wine. I've been down too.
Okay, so training is done. I'm actually pleasantly surprised with how easy my final set of tempo bench was. So basically I had tempo ascending triples from 80, 85, 90, 95, so from 80 to 95. And I think that's the heaviest. This is the first block doing triples on this day. Usually we do doubles. I might have done a double tempo at 95 before, but I don't think I've done a triple. And obviously I knew I would be able to do it, but this day isn't supposed to be super difficult. So I was kind of intrigued to see how it felt, and it actually felt really, really easy. So happy with that. I think my tempos were fairly strict as well. I have this habit of speeding up when I'm like an inch or two from the chest, which is something I'm really trying to focus on. But yeah, pretty happy. It's now 5:30. All my rehab stuff is done as well. All I've got left to have to eat today, so I've got another pasta bake when I go in a sec that I'm going to heat up, which is like a hunter's chicken pasta bake. Got very similar kind of veggies and stuff into what the one I made earlier today, but it's obviously in a barbecue sauce. Chicken bacon in there, very tasty. Gonna have that. The macros in that, I'm not going to show you it because it looks very unaesthetic when it's all dished up in the Tupperware. 398 calories in total, 44 grams of carbs, 8 fat, 33 protein. So decent macros on that, especially for like a post-workout meal. Get some protein in, get some carbs in, not too much fat. Fiber in that meal as well is 6.5 grams, probably a bit more because I didn't track everything that I put in it in terms of like veggies and stuff. And then I've also got a 1 scoop protein shake to have later today as well, which will leave my total macros at 238 carbs, 151 protein, 54 fat, 30 fiber, which I think puts me just above 2,000, just below 2,100 calories, somewhere near there. which I'm pretty happy with. I'm kind of bang on. The goal really is to be around 2,000 most days of the week, and then the 2,200 range, maybe like 2 to 3 days a week, depending on how I feel for training. But I kind of say to myself, especially at the moment while my body weight is kind of where we need it to be for now, if there's a few days where I go a little bit over to 2,200, that's absolutely fine, because it's still a bit of a deficit anyway, I think, and I would expect to see a bit of a drop this weekend based on last week's numbers anyway, so pretty happy, pretty content, body weight's where it needs to be, kind of enjoying the food and stuff I'm eating again, so yeah, I'm feeling good, feeling fueled. I'm going to go in, have my meal, have a shower, and then I've got a massage tonight at 8, just like a sports massage. Was originally booked in just to kind of sort out my hamstring issue, so I do some work on that area. But to be honest, I'll probably just get a little bit of work done everywhere instead, because the hamstring issue is definitely clearing up with the physio movements and the rehab and stuff, so I don't really need to worry too much about that area specifically. But it's not something I get done very often, but like every now and then I've got a friend that does like sports massage adjustments and stuff like that. I can't remember what his actual title is, but every now and then, if I feel like I need kind of just a bit of a freshen up, I'll just book in. It's pretty cheap for what he does as well. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. It's literally just around the corner from our house. So that's at 8 o'clock. And then it'll be come home and probably just kind of get ready to go to sleep. Gonna get a little bit more work done in between now and obviously showering and stuff and then going to that massage, but got plenty of time. So all is good. I will wrap up this full day of eating here. Gonna try and film these a lot more regularly now. So thank you very much. If you've made it to the end of the video, I really appreciate it. Please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in a few days.
Summer toys for the summer boy. I keep drummer boys in the summer boy. I keep making noise. I've been paranoid. This is God body. You can never void. I don't miss. I don't play none. I don't diss. I don't say none.